and we showed you the front page. It says BUJU stands alone because a second co-defendant has decided to take a plea bargain. We're now joined by David Marcus, who's the attorney for Mr. Myrie. He's online with us. Good morning, sir, and thanks for joining us here in Smart Jamaica.
Good morning.
What does that mean for you now, sir, that Mr. Mack and now Mr. Thomas and now Mr. Mack have both decided to, I guess, go against your client? What does that mean?
Well, we don't know what to say yet. We'll find out on Monday, 6th, but, you know, they tell us to be helped push it out.
I'm sorry, we didn't hear that. Could you repeat, sir?
Sure. You know, you won't find out what they're going to say until they testify. We don't get their statements before trial. And so, you know, if they tell the truth, we believe they'll help us.
Okay. Is this something that you would have expected? Is this something that you thought would have happened?
Well, listen, Ian Thomas and Mack they had no defense. They were at the deal, and they did the deal. BUJU was home asleep when the deal took place. He wasn't part of it. So, you know, I expected that they might plead guilty because they really had very little to say at the trial. And, you know, we're the innocent party here, and that's why we're going to trial on Monday.
You said he was at home, but we're told that he was caught on camera doing stuff that he should not have been doing. Does that hold any water at all?
There is no question that they have many videotapes and audio tapes of BUJU. You know, BUJU's a talker. Everybody knows that. But when the actual deal took place, he was back at his house sleeping. And the other guys were doing a deal with this bad informant. And so even though there's a lot of tapes that they're going to play at the trial, none of those tapes show BUJU doing a drug deal.
Did we not hear that he was caught tasting cocaine or something? I'm sure I read that somewhere. Is that not true?
No, there is a video of BUJU putting a finger to his tongue, and there's no question about that, and it was a horrible mistake and decision that BUJU made, but that's not what he's charged with. He's not charged with tasting cocaine. He's charged with being a drug trafficker, and that will be able to show that he is not. He is not a drug trafficker. He is not a drug dealer. He's none of those things, and he's not part of this conspiracy. The people who are part of the conspiracy are guilty.
Let us look at both sides of it, a double-barreled question. What is the worst-case scenario if he goes to trial and is found guilty, and what is the best-case scenario for BUJU? What are the two outcomes that could happen?
Well, in the best case, the worst case, I want everybody to be positive, everybody in Jamaica to be perfect. So we need all the help we can get. It's very difficult in America, and the system is very, very difficult over here. So we need everybody praying for us and thinking positive. I don't want people thinking negative, because that's how we get into trouble. People stay positive and think we can win, and we can actually do it.
Okay, and speaking of negative, we've heard a number of negative reports that BUJU has lost weight, that he's not doing well in incarceration. Can you give us an update on his physical condition?
Yes, you know, he's doing much better. He has lost the weight. You can imagine being in a county jail is not easy on him or easy on anybody, but he's got a special diet. It's very difficult. But listen, you know, he's hanging in there. We're at the home stretch now. We start trial Monday, and one way or the other, this trial is going to be behind us next week. So we're hoping that he's going to be back home and he can gain some of that weight and maybe get that nickname BUJU back.
What about his mental condition? I was reading reports about his album that he was very involved in the process of making his album. Spiritually and mentally, is he also up to par?
He is. He's doing great spiritually and mentally. The album is great. I've listened to it. I have it playing in my car and in my office all the time to get me fired up. I hope everybody's going to get it and listen to it. It's wonderful, and it's a really nice message on the album, and he writes a little note to everybody. I think y'all will like it.
You said that things will be over by next week. Is that what you said? You suspect it's going to be a quick trial?
We start Monday. The trial will probably last about a week or a week and a half. Now that the other two defendants have pled, instead of 2 weeks, the trial will be a little shorter. I don't know exactly how long it will take, but, maybe a week and a half.
Mr. Marcus, he's a huge star here in Jamaica. Is this your biggest trial, sir?
I've had a lot of big trials. This is, every trial to me is the biggest trial. Everybody's life is just as important. This is my biggest case right now because it's the case that's going to trial. I treat, every case the same because everybody's life is hugely important, and I'm going to fight on this one like I fight on every other one to win, and that's what I'm hoping to do.
When all is said and done, let us say for the purpose of this discussion, he's acquitted of drug trafficking. Can the U.S. go back and charge you with other things?
No, this will be it. This is one way or the other. If they win on this case, they're not going to go forward on anything else. And when he does win and we're all successful, we're going to come down there and have a big party with you all.
And keeping in that same optimistic vein, if and when BUJU does win and is acquitted, will he be deported from the United States, or will he still be able to travel to the U.S.?
He'll be deported, and then we'll have to deal with his immigration status. But if we win, he will immediately be sent back to Jamaica, and then we can deal with the U.S. immigration laws. But I'm not worried about that.
You sound very confident, sir. Sound very, very confident. We wish you all the very best.
Before we go, I have a quick question. For the two persons that pled, what will happen with them? Will they face jail time, or did their plea agreement say that they go free?
No, one of them, this guy, Gentleman Mac, he will get, his plea agreement calls for 25 years in prison. He's willing to cooperate and testify for the government. He's looking at about 7 years in prison, a lot less. Mac is looking at 25, and Ian Thomas is looking at 7. So the way you look at it, it's an awful lot of time to have to do in an American jail.
Looking at 25 years in a plea bargain, what would have happened had he not pled and was found guilty? What would
Mac had a prior record, so he was looking at a life sentence if he went to trial in law. So that's why he took the deal. He didn't want to go to jail for life.
That's a powerful incentive to plead.
25 years.
Wow.
Well, all right.
Okay.
You sound very confident, as I said earlier, sir. Good luck, and thank you so much for speaking with us this morning.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me, and I hope everybody, really stays positive for us. We need all that help.
Marcus, thanks a lot. Here you go, David.
Wow.
Marcus, so you plea and you get 25 years? Well, I guess it's better than getting a life.
I would imagine it depends on how old you are, because if you're 50, life versus 25 years, how long would you last?
You probably wouldn't serve the entire 25.
You could apply for parole.
2/3 of the sentence or something. It depends on what they... But there you go, folks. The case, as you heard, it starts on
Monday.
20th, which is Monday. And as Mr. Marcus says, he suspects it's not going to be a long trial. And we will hear either way, I guess, in about a couple of weeks what will happen to my BUJU Banton. You've heard the album?
No, I've not had the privilege to hear the album yet, but I'm certainly looking forward to it. I know he has a song called Innocent, and I know he has a personal note on it, so of course I'm going to get a copy. I'm going to buy a copy, by the way.
As I always do. No, you don't know what about them?
Yes, I'm just emphasizing the point because I'm encouraged